I know. Okay, Bill, stop singing that song. Hi, you guys. I am sitting on my love seat. That is not healthy. I'm sitting on the armrest of my love seat right now. Um, and honestly, I have no cares. I have no cares about sitting on there, but I know I'm going to hate it later on because I might have an indentation. I might have an indentation on my couch. Um, and I'm not gonna like that because well, it didn't cost a lot of money, but it cost a lot of money to me at the time. It was $4,000. So and I don't have $4,000 again to pay. So yeah, I might be a little bit afraid of that one, but it's okay. It's all good. It's really cushy. And yeah, so what I'm doing right now, I have to upload the other video of what Read Mental Health spoke about my mom, because they tried to say it first it was my mom she had some medication and made her heart flutter, and they have to send her to the hospital to go and get checked out and make sure that she's not having a heart attack. This is what they told my aunt. Then when I called today, which I haven't recorded, I always try to record for the most part because I've seen this happen to a lot of people. And what they'll try to do, they'll try to hide a lot of things. And if you have everything documented and you have everything recorded, it's out in black and white. No one can go and lie and say that this didn't happen or I didn't speak to anyone because of it. So what I did is, and I'm legally able to record it because they literally say that we are recording for security purposes. So that broke down the barrier right there. So when I called them, they told me that at Read Mental Health, I had already known that she was at the hospital because my aunt had called me around 8 o'clock, which it actually happened. I found out when they told me today that it actually happened at 5, and my aunt wasn't aware of it until 8 p.m. But what they told me was something totally different than they told my aunt. And I also have my aunt recorded when she's saying that this is not what they told her. These are the things that they're not telling her. They told her it was dealing with her heart issues with that. They told me that she had a slip and fall. 2 totally different things. And then they had to go take her to the hospital to make sure that everything was going all right. Now, mind you, that my mother had a slip and fall at this same location, I want to say about a week or a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. And she had 4 nurses. They were all checking up on her, things like that. And when I spoke to my mom, she was talking about the medication that she had. She sounded very slow, meaning that her speech was very groggled. Like they had so much medication. She kept saying they kept adding medication to her. They kept adding medication to her. And one of the things that you don't want to overlook. Yes, there's medication that, a lot of people with mental illness have to have, but they're still in control of what they take. And as long as they're safe with everyone else. She was already mentally stable. She's already been even, she was on a progress report of 60 days, which I recorded that as well. 60 days, meaning that they had to watch her behavior, make sure that she is following the procedures well, interacting. Her thing was interacting with the a lot of people during her stay, because she would go and read her books and stay inside. Now, is that normal for my mother? Yes, depending on the circumstance. Once she gets equal and she gets her balance, my mother likes to go out. Since she's in a mental institution, they don't let them go out. They don't even get to go out a lot to have air. So it's a little different in prison, because you have at least an hour of recreation time and a lot of time to go out. Now, do they have other things? They get to go to classes. They get to do sewing and things like that. But being a person that likes to be on the go and likes to go out and venture, after a while, it doesn't help them. So, since she can't go outside, she'll stay out. She'll watch a thing of an hour of television. which my mom is not a heavy television watcher, and then she'll go back into her room and, read or just stay there, which can bring back another set and get them back depressed. But anyhow, so they were asking, was that normal? But anyhow, they said that the process, trying to look at, making sure I don't have any extra clients coming around. If someone called off or anything. They said that her progress was getting better. She's waiting for her 60-day evaluation, which was supposed to be passed this time, and haven't heard anything from it. I also spoke to her case manager, which her name, well, I won't even give out her name because I want to keep her privacy level. But at the same time, I spoke to her over 2 weeks ago, which she said because they had a corona outbreak that she was not able to speak to them, to speak to her, and that she also had it. And the reason, that was the reason why they didn't have the meeting, but they were going to have the meeting after I spoke to her, because literally she was supposed to come that Friday, because I spoke to the lady on Friday 2 weeks ago. So when I spoke to my mom, because I speak to my mom every single day, this lady never came and never had an attempt to speak to her. So that was already another violation. I'm like, is something going on? But 2 weeks is more than enough time to have that conversation with my mother, to have that conversation. Because this is the thing. She tried to say that, because I was like, I can have my mom come over here, because in this area, this is a great city to deal with mental illness. They have a lot of projects, a lot of new things that are coming around that are helping people with mental illness function in society. And I understand that it would help my mom. I also spoke to my mom about this. She was in agreement. Okay. And I know things can change, but the one thing that this social worker literally told me, which I know already, of course, you're dealing with social work, that, she has the choice to make it herself. No one can force her, which we understand. Hold on, y'all. This might be, Richmond Hospital, y'all. Hold on. Hello?
Hi, is this Belle?
This is she.
Hi, Belle. This is Teresa. I'm calling about your mother.
Yes.
Patricia Dean.
Yes, ma'am.
So you said you wanted an update. She's actually doing pretty well. They're in there actually doing a ultrasound of her heart right now, just to kind of make sure that's all doing okay. It's almost becoming a protocol anymore. Anybody coming in that's shows signs of infection or anything like that, they want to go ahead and just rule out that there's nothing going on with the heart that could be causing that.
Okay, so they're saying that she has an infection?
Yeah, so hold on, let me pull up her lab. Not yet, she can't have any yet. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so let's see, her white count was 5.9 when she came in. So she came in with symptoms of COVID. So they have swabbed her, and so with that, they go ahead and do just a full workup, just to make sure that they don't miss anything and that they're not going to have other underlying issues that could be a complication of it or could complicate it. So they can kind of stay on top of it, I guess you could say. Her COVID results came back as far as I can tell in our computer system, but we can't always see them until they're actually fully tested and completed in the system. So I don't know when that will.
Okay, so she came in because her chest, it wasn't because of anything else, it was because of her chest, and she was showing signs of COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
So with the CT scan that they had done, it indicated that she could potentially have COVID, which would cause the chest tightness and things like that that she was experiencing. So that's why they have done all the other workups. They have to work up on both ends.
Okay. So she didn't come in because of a fall.
She slid out of the chair is what I was told. So I don't know if that triggered them to bring her in here. They didn't tell me that. They just told me that she'd slid out of the chair, she'd hit her head. The CT for that was negative, and they'd done a CT of her chest, and it indicated that she could potentially have COVID. So they were going to do that workup.
No.
They're also depending on with the workup of the heart as well.
Okay, so and then how long is that test going to take? What kind of COVID testing did she have?
Well, let's see. Let me go back in the orders here because this was done either in the ER, so it doesn't show up for me.
Okay, so you don't know what test that they're having
until it's back. I don't see the results.
Oh yeah, I know you won't see the results if you took it just right then, because usually it takes a couple of days. I just wanted to know which one did she take, because some of them I know that some of them are different. I know you know that too, that some of them take longer than the others.
Are you talking like the rapid or okay, I don't even know how to explain it. It does not say rapid on this test, so I don't think the doctor ran the rapid one, so it would take usually a couple days. Now, that's not always the case. I'm just going to come back quicker than that. That's why I said the original order isn't showing, like I can't pull it up. Yeah, see? If it's a rapid test, it typically says rapid, and hers does not say rapid. So it may be another day or so before we find her results out for sure.
Okay. And then after that, are they if she's okay, they're gonna release her back into that population?
I don't know what the state hospital policy is for taking her back if she comes back negative, and what they will do. And I don't know what it is if she is positive and what they will say or do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if they're gonna.
Like it's up in the
air. Yeah, are they gonna actually keep her? Do you guys keep them when they're testing positive for COVID, or are they going?
So if the social worker actually didn't know exactly how the state hospital would want to handle it yet. So typically, if a patient tests positive, and as long as their symptoms are managed and they're stable, we will either send them back home or we could send them to a nursing home as long as the nursing home is accepting them. Now, if they're not accepting them, then we of course have to keep them until we have a safe place for them to go for discharge.
Okay.
So that's kind of how that will go.
Okay. So
I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. That's really good information that you're giving me. So I just wanted to know what was going on, because what I was told was something totally different. And it was talking about a head injury. Now I know that they had outbreaks of COVID where she was at, and they did not inform me or the other person that is listed on her file. So this is actually good, because they didn't even tell me anything about this at all. They never told me about the heart flutters or anything like that.
And when she comes in, they do they have standard protocol for anybody that comes in. So because she's, her CT and stuff indicates that she may have COVID, they go ahead and just do the full workup.
Right. They're going to do that anyway, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as, let me look at a note from the ER. Let me see what they said. I'm sorry, the person I got a report from really didn't. Okay, well, when she came into the ER, the nurse noted that she didn't have any pain. She was alert and oriented. So it looks like it was basically for her falling or sliding out of a chair. That's what everybody's just, I don't know what let CT given her CT findings. Okay, so that's why. Okay. So they did the CT initially because of her fall, and that's where they saw that she could potentially have COVID, and that's what led to them testing her for COVID. Gotta put the puzzle together. Sorry.
Oh, no. That's better to at least know what's really going on. So they already treated her for the fall.
Yeah, the fall was just, something that had happened. There was no injury. The CT of the head and everything, all of that, she's fine with that.
Okay.
It was more of a precautionary thing of why they brought her out here, it seemed. She had complained about a headache, but upon arrival here, I don't believe she had one.
Okay.
Because the nurse said that she had denied any pain.
Okay. All right.
So sounds like we found more than what we bargained for when she came in here. So we're gonna get her taken care of. That way, she's better than what she was when she initially started out.
Yeah. Okay.
She's doing great. She's pleasant. She's actually up in the chair. She worked for physical therapy already today. She thought she was at Methodist. I was like, well, no, you're at Reed. And she's like, what?
yeah, because they have to transport her. So that's a whole nother issue. So
she's doing great. And like I said, the head injury, I think it wasn't necessarily there, but it's probably a good thing that she did fine, and then we could find that she had a little bit more going on than what she showed signs of.
Okay, so it was, but it's an infection. It was an infection, and just making sure it wasn't COVID.
Well, so they treat it as if there is, because there's no definite that it is COVID. The CT will show like there may be something there going on, so then they swab them for COVID.
Okay.
So I think they had initially given her antibiotics and things in the ER, but they have since stopped those.
Okay.
Because, like I said, her labs are actually coming back normal. Her white count and everything is normal, and that's something that we looked at.
Okay.
So.
All right. Okay, that sounds good. So, yeah. Thank you for that information.
Yeah.
And then, is she able to? Yeah, you said she was up, so she was doing her therapy and everything. So,
she did do therapy.
Huh?
She did do some therapy with physical therapy. Got up in the chair, so she's been up. She was just asleep, but they went in to do that echo.
Okay. Okay.
So she's awake now.
All right, that sounds good. So then, I'll just call back and check up on her that way, and then, yeah, since it wasn't wrapping, I think that's like 2-3 days. Look, I remember that myself, having COVID twice myself, so I know.
Yeah.
I definitely know. Yeah, so.
I think we're all starting to get a little bit of a idea about this, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, well, feel free to call back anytime.
I will. Thank you so much, Teresa.
I'll try to have answers. Sorry if it was kind of all over.
Oh, no, that was great. That was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You do the same. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Let me tell y'all, this is the lies that they tell, okay? If that was the case, why didn't they say, hey, we're testing her for COVID? That was not what they initially came in there for. They told my aunt before she even got tested that she was going to the hospital because she was showing signs of a possible heart attack because her heart was fluttering, and the nurse staff couldn't understand why was her heart fluttering and things like that. Now, I understand that some of that could be dealing with COVID, because I've had instances with that. However, the staff should know if they're testing her for COVID. They never said, oh, we're testing her for COVID. What did they say? They said they were checking up on her and making sure that she didn't have any issues with the heart attack. The lady also stated that she could have a possible infection in her heart. Why is that? Why is that? And people are like, well, things can happen. She's gotten a little older and this and that. Bullcrap. It can also happen when you have ruptures in there from taking so much medications and so much stress. It can open you up. If you don't believe me, go look. Don't believe me, just watch me. Hey, so those are some of the things that I have to deal with right now. I know they're going to come back and they're going to try to pad this up and act like nothing happened or everything is all good. And like she was trying to say, it was a standard protocol. Okay, if that was standard protocol is supposed to inform the patient's loved ones of the progress, of the true progress and what is going on. Once again, we're on her records, legally able to speak and to find out what in the world is going on. I'm not going to call my aunt right now because I got some other stuff that I need to focus on. But I wanted you guys to see for yourselves. I'm also going to upload the videos that I've recorded with all the people who were in the mental facility who were telling me that she was getting treated because, the lady was backpedaling. She didn't even go to why the reason that she was even in the hospital, which was for the fall. That was the initial thing, which she had already felt before. They weren't even treating that. What they were treating is some of the side effects that go along with having the extra medication that is unnecessary, that's making you become imbalanced, which making you come, and people are like, well, you can't diagnose. I'm not trying to diagnose. What I'm saying is that when a different variable comes in, and the outcome changes, usually in order to see what's going on, you take that variable back out. So, and that's with any experiment, anything that you're going with, a good example is, okay, think about you having a relaxer. I know a lot of people don't remember it, but people of color, if you had a relaxer and you see that you take this one relaxer, you switch your relaxers, and every time you use this relaxer, you end up with scabs. And you're like, what's going on? But you still using the relaxer. So one of the things you can change it at, wonder why it's not doing that. You can stop scratching, one of the variables. But what if you don't scratch and you still get the sores? You're going to take the variable out. So you might stop using relaxers and see if you don't have the sores, or use a milder version. That's the same thing that you would do dealing with this situation. What else? Of course, they have this whole protocol and they're trying to find out. So I'm definitely going to have more closed circuit things dealing with that. If she does not have a safe place to go, if they try to say that she has COVID, then they will have to keep her in the hospital. Because if that happens, it might be a loophole for me, because if that happens, I can say that I have a safe place, which is at home. They legally letting people go home. This is legally a safe place. Unless someone tries to deem that it's not. And if they say that it's not, they have to prove it, which they would not be able to do. And my mother can come home and be safe with it, okay? Because it's literally nothing you can do when you have COVID, okay? I've had it twice. It's literally nothing you can do but just wait it out. So if that's the case, she can wait it out at home instead of going back to the Dungeon of Doom. And let me stop calling it's not the Dungeon of Doom, because some of that stuff does help a lot of people and it helps her to a certain extent. But I'm not going to try to have her to go back into an area that's already, had this issue. That's crazy. That's crazy. So she's supposed to be getting help one way and she's getting attacked another way. Not happening. So, yeah, I wanted to show you guys that. I also am going to upload, like I said, I'm going to upload later on today. I'm going to upload what The lady said, the worker said at the hospital, because I want you guys to understand this process. Sometimes people don't check their notes, and there, when you go into a hospital, any type of mental facility, any type of regular hospital, when you first get on the floor, you could be a CMA, a QME, a nurse, a doctor, whatever. If you get onto that floor, you're supposed to, and you're on that wing, you're supposed to get a refresher of what's going on, what has taken place, what has transpired, what is the new things that are going into the report. I'm going to see if I can talk to someone who is a medical professional in that field, and they can tell you more about the debriefing process. Because I only, once again, have a limited view. But what I do know, having people who work in that field, knowing people who I'm related to that work in that field, they have a huge debriefing, especially with people. If you're dealing with a mental hospital or anything with a high intensity ICU emergency, anything like that, because they are more vulnerable and things can happen lickety split. So they have to be well on their toes, and they have to know what is going on. Since my mother has been in that place over 12 hours, that should be one of the top things that are going on. Not to say, oh, my mom is so special or anything, but since she had to be escalated from a mental hospital dealing with her emotional state to her physical state, which is a more severe level, it goes on to a higher level. So everyone in that place should have had education and the knowledge of what's going on and what transpired and what to say and give to their loved ones. The only difference is with me is because I know more of the insides than other people, because when you work in this area, you know certain things that are overlooked or overpassed, some of the things, some of the nuggets, and I still have to learn some things because I'm not a super pro. But there are some things that the general public does not know on how to assess, that I know just based off of what I've had to endure and what I have to do with the clients that I deal with. What else? I think that is kind of it. So we see that the real issue is that they're no longer treating what she came in there for. They're treating her based off of saying that she has an infection and that they're trying to treat it, wait for COVID. So now we're just waiting, praying and waiting, and then taking it from there. You guys, if you have some comments or some issues, I hope that you guys share this. Hopefully someone who is dealing with this issue, with mental illness. This is also dealing with a lot of people when they're dealing with elders going into communities like this. Because sometimes when they don't update the people as to what's going on, sometimes they can be susceptible to elder abuse. And we see that a lot happening now. Like, yeah. So I have to double. It's like a double whammy for me because my mom is in that age group. My mom is in that age group and she has a mental illness. So it's a double whammy. And sometimes she's not able to advocate for herself. So I have to jump in, or other people in the family have to jump in, but there are a lot of people who don't have that or who are not educated in that arena. So, yeah. You guys definitely leave in the comments below. I try to answer the emails, but it gets very hectic sometimes, especially since I have another platform and it's just me. So definitely leave in the comments below. If you learned anything from that, definitely share it. Because I'm sure it can help some other people going through this process. It can be very, very tough. And what I would want to leave to people is that you need to just keep trying, even though things can get very tough. Make sure that you take care of yourself. I have to do a lot of self-care things, because you have to make sure that you are full before you help someone else. And also, don't give up. If you need to get help somewhere else or get resources somewhere, reach out. And when you don't get the help and the resources, reach back out again. I think I'm going to make another video dealing with Edgewater and show you guys, because we have to get, I'm trying to get a gateway agreement. And the gateway agreement, I'll talk about in the next video. A gateway agreement is when someone is trying to use services in other places that are close to them. I wanted to have my mom relocated to this area because they have more services. So instead of releasing the patient, because a lot of the mental health places do not want to release the patient into another healthcare provider, even though we've been trying to do this for years. Trying to have her to go to Regency, just a lot of things, because a lot of her episodes could be prevented if she had the right kind of people in places that would cater to supporting her dealing with the mental illness. And this actual agency has had over a decade, and it has not improved. And what I've noticed is that she will improve in places that have the same services elsewhere. She will improve and become better, meaning she will come in a more emotionally healthy state than she would being in the agency that she is before. Now that could be because she might have got accustomed to the people, and or it could be that they've gotten so accustomed to her that they're not moving towards her progress. Whether she's experiencing different side effects. They might be diagnosing it and treating her illness the same way that they've been treating it, 10, 15 years ago, when it should be treated a different way, because we know that mental illness, it goes in different phases as the clients get older, as situations happen, environmental issues happen. So it could be that, but either way, it's not working. So I have to go and deal with a gateway agreement to have other services that better assist her in place. So that is something that I'm probably going to talk about and give you guys some information on it. I don't want to dwell on all of the things that some of these people were not telling me. I just want to focus more on what I can do and be proactive about it, because if you get stuck at all the things that they're doing wrong, sometimes it will hinder you from going and moving forward. So yeah, if this helps someone and motivates them to get the help that they need to help their loved ones or to help themselves, definitely share it. I'm going to get off of here. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. And thank you so very much. Goodbye.